Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Mapuri, for the very nice kirtan. Tarni, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Right. Om Agyanathamra Andasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Ruppadaya Dadati Svapadatikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Vishupopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhamsute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Vipa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Amma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatadya Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivachari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare. Come on everybody, Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So, coming back, can you remember the questions which were posted in the previous canto? Because that's the reason with which Sukadev Goswami starts off with this. So, can someone recall as to what it is and what are we doing now?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. The questions that Parikshit Maharaj posed to Sukadev Goswami was like, first is what is the prime duty of the person who is about to die, and yeah, and another thing is like what he should not do, what he's not supposed to do.
Okay. So basically, to the sages first, he asks us what is the immediate duty and ultimate duty for a person who's about to die. And to Sukadev Goswami, very specifically, he asked what is the most important thing for a person who's going to die, right? Which is the perfection of life. And more than that, what one should hear, chant, remember, and also worship, and what one should not do. And if you see, the verses started off with what one should not do. What was that? Very nicely said. What is it we should not do? What particular life we should not lead?
Mataji, the life of a Grameti, there should not be mundane topics for discussion, mostly transcendental and spiritual topics. And most people work a lot, slog during the day, and then sleep during the night and gain, sense gratification. So that is something to be avoided.
Very nice. So basically, Graha Medi we should not be. We can also call, we are not only called Grahasthas, we are also called Graha Sannyasis. The reason is not that we will not marry or we will not have children. The moment they mean that, what they mean is Grahastha Ashram. Why do they call it Ashram? It's because just like how in Ashram, they're very saintly people, sages are there, sannyasis are there. Grahastha Ashram also refers to the fact that the reason they will marry, they will have children, all that will have Krishna in the center. While as against Brahmatis, who will basically focus their entire life on hearing, chanting, remembering everything other than him, right? So they will spend time in gossip, prajalpa, and the prajalpa will always about eating, sleeping, mating, and how they can make more money. So they are also some of them are in ignorance, but some of them are in the mode of passion, right? Just like how we wake up in the morning, they will also wake up in the morning, but their focus will be to catch the train or a metro or drive long distances to make more money. So for whom are they making more money? For the people who are called the fallible soldiers. Who are the fallible soldiers? What do you mean by this term?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Just wanted to inquire, is Pran Prabhu not coming today?
I announced, Prabhu, in the beginning, I think I announced before the class started at 10 that Pran Chaitanya Prabhu is not here and I'll be taking the session. I think few of them had joined, but I'm not sure if you were there. So you have
I was there, Mataji. I've been there since 9:55.
Okay.
But
Prabhu is not coming in.
Bad connection, I have lost.
Pran Chaitanya Prabhu is not coming in today. I will be taking the session and I have a very important announcement to make at around 11:30. Prabhu gave me a heads up, so I'll tell you at that time. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So you have to put up with me for another 1.5 hours.
Yeah. We enjoy your class also.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Can I request people who have not switched on the videos to switch on the videos? It's a part of a mandate, but more than mandate, I'll have a feeling I'm talking to people. Thank you, Mahesh Prabhu. Thank you, Reena Mataji. Vandita Tagwani Mataji. Thank you so much. Ishwari Prabhu. And yes, to the couple, thank you so much. Vinny Mataji and Usha Mataji. So let's start. People can take a couple of minutes and start off with the video. Now, what we also saw, besides that, is superiority of Bakthi. Even jnanis, karmis, yogis, actually. Okay, now one question which always occurred to me when I did Bhagavad Gita for the first time, 6th chapter, we have, I was wondering, why is this Ashtanga Yoga? Okay, now invariably, somehow, I try hard to skip that chapter, but fortunately or unfortunately, as a student, somewhere we can manage. But when we are teaching, we cannot skip the chapter, right? So every time I come, I keep wondering why this chapter is coming. Right. And last time also you noticed that though we had about 1.5 hours, I had 3 slokas. I thought might as well spend time in 3 slokas. And the hard part of explaining Ashtanga Yoga, I would wait for Pran Chaitanya Prabhu to actually take that session, which was ideally supposed to be today. But unfortunately, Prabhu could not make it. And I might have to put my one foot in Ashtanga Yoga, an area of something which neither I relish nor I understand too much. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is, can anyone tell me why is Ashtanga Yoga? Aren't we all interested in understanding Bhakti Yoga? But why is Ashtanga Yoga and all of this coming here in Srimad Bhagavatam?
There are 3 paths to transcendental life. First is path of
yes, please go.
Jnana. The first is the plan of Jnana, where we.
Prabhu, your voice is very
mental
feeble. I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear. Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. The first is by Jnana, means knowledge and philosophical contemplation. Yeah. The second is Dhyana. Dhyana is what you call it as the Ashtanga Yoga, which has 8 parts, starting with the Yama, Niyama, then then the third one is the seating position, then the pranayama, then dharana, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. That's the eightfold. Okay. Now this is the one which is most difficult one, because you have to control your mind without actually with clarity that you are going to achieve your goal, which is the most difficult. The third one is Bhakti Yoga. So we are going to do the second part, which is the most difficult part now. That is the Ashtanga. It's 8 parts. Ashtanga, 8. Anga means limbs. Ashta is 8. Ashtanga means 8 limbs of yoga. That is the part we are going to learn.
Perfect, Prabhu. I understand it's there, but my doubt is, I mean, your answer is perfect, but what I'm trying to tell, why should we have yoga, jnana yoga, dharma yoga, and all? Can't we just have bhakti only throughout?
No.
Or mental self-awareness.
Mental platform? Can you expand what you say?
And self-awareness.
Sorry, Gita Mataji, self-awareness, which means?
One should always conscious about, Krishna is always there, but the worldly things also is always conscious.
Very nice. That is one more point. What Pran Prabhu told, Mulikari Prabhu told, that is one. Second is consciousness, awareness of other things which are there. Next.
Excuse me, Mataji. This Bhakti Yoga, actually, you cannot achieve the Bhakti Yoga completely without Ashtanga Yoga. You have to practice all those things.
But Mataji, none of us are practicing. At least I am not practicing. So are you telling me I'll never be able to reach it?
No, you can reach it. But without that pranayama, at least that one is required.
Okay.
Actually,
some sort of yoga is required.
Actually, these practices lead to deeper connection with oneself and the body, both.
Okay. Body, mind. I think that is what Mangala Mataji is also mentioning. Okay. So any other reasons?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think it is to provide various methods of reaching Krishna. So devotees are given alternatives, there's just not one path, there are several paths and all lead finally to the destination. So
very close. Usha Mataji, everybody's answer is nice, but Usha Mataji almost brought it there. But she brought it, I think, from here, that is from Krishna. But from the other side, if you take, most of the time, all of us will all experience one thing in life. And I would like to share what Namanishta Prabhu mentioned here. The one thing which we will always know and always have a doubt is when we are starting with bhakti in terms of organized bhakti. Why I'm telling organized bhakti is we were all having bhakti. So-called we used to go to temple, we used to do pujas in the house, all of that. So we were never atheists or so. But the fact is, I'm calling it organized because only now we've come under the parampara, understanding what initiation is, taking, coming under the shelter of Guru, trying to understand all these scriptures. But when we started the journey at the beginning, right? And I'm sharing my personal experience, it was the most difficult journey. One side, on the home front, everybody had an issue, which was still convincing because from young, we were not like that. Right. And suddenly we are changing. So they just don't understand. They also on the hide side have a feeling that women also can become a sannyasi and take the japamala, wear it and go and join some ashram, which is understandable, at least for us. On the contrary, I at least also noticed a lot of devotees in the spiritual world. There was a lot of things. There used to be conflicts, there used to be competition, there used to be arguments, there used to be fights. Were they not there in the material world? They were. But then I just could not understand. The reason I understood later is because spiritual world, and this is something Namanishta Prabhu was explaining to me, it is not spiritual world. The spiritual organizations are also in the material world. right? So obviously, whoever are there still have all these tamaguna, rajaguna, and mode of goodness. That is why we are still here. Otherwise, we will be sitting in Vaikunth. Now, which means that we also have a different flair for everything. Like I am more, let's say I'm from karma, my interest has been more of a graha maybe. Then I will probably advance slowly. The other set of people will advance from jnani because they will have that. So there is a mixture of people. Though the problem I had is when I entered this, I was thinking that everybody will be Paramahamsas, right? So I could tolerate these conflicts in the material world, power policies. I want to be the powerful person. I want the leadership and all that. But in the spiritual world, it was like no tolerance for me. Though technically, spiritually, not spiritual world, I mean in the spiritual organization. So Prabhu gave me a very beautiful explanation, and I will never forget. He said, outside world, there is a hospital, right? There is something called the inpatient. There's someone called the outpatient. And what Prabhu told, I'm just trying to add my way of explaining to it. And there is someone called, let's say, not taking treatment. And let's say we're all diagnosed with a disease. Now, what happens is the person in the outside world seems to be like eating everything, enjoying life, being merry, and sitting in the hospital, we'll be wearing that uniform we are having. God forbidden that uniform is such a horrible uniform. And I still don't understand why there is a thing which is completely open back. Neither you can tie it up. And it's the most irritating thing. It neither helps you to sit there nor allows you to walk, right? So that thing. So in the actual uniform, which is the hospital. Now, there is also an in-between category who's like an outpatient who will come get treated. So the point what I'm trying to tell is the person who's hospitalized feels pathetic. Now, this difference is that at the beginning, we all might have had challenges. I did, so I'm sharing it from my point of view. Oh, why is it? Because we are all undergoing treatments at various levels. Somebody at the outside may not have a treatment, so they will be jolly, be merry or whatever. When we are here, we find it difficult. And my case was not within myself, but it was around me. Hurry, this person is fighting, that person is yelling, this person is having a power play. Why this, right? But Prabhu told one thing, irrespective of whether the person is an outpatient or an admitted patient, the person treatment has started, which means purification has started. If we go back to Bhagavad Gita 9.30 and 31, what Krishna is telling, Api sechu tu juracharya bhajata ma manyanyabha shatureve samandakyam samyak vivasitosyaha, which means even if he does the most abominable mistake, you don't worry, I'll take care. You should consider him only saintly. Why? Because Chipram da Bhagavati Dharma Shashvat Shansi Gachati Kaunteya Pratijaneti Mame Bhakta Pranashyati. That means I am a person, I will take care. Kaunteya, challenge the world, my devotees won't perish, I will take care. So Krishna is taking control, and whoever is now, Krishna is Paramatma, the four-handed form of Vishnu, the first expansion of Balram who descends. But for the devotees, what happens? Personally, Krishna is sitting and doing cleansing the heart and all that. Therefore, the person in the spiritual organizations will still have their anarthas, will still have their problems, will still have their roles of, passion and tamas, which we saw, right? Tada ramas, tada tama rajas, right? Bhavaha kama krodha dayasche chete eter anavritam shritam satve prasidati. To reach that stage, it takes a long time, right? So tamo, rajo, gunam and all, it has to go. So that state takes that amount of time. But when I saw people at that state, I started wondering. So all I'm trying to tell is in Srimad Bhagavatam, though hindsight we will be thinking all are Paramamsas, that's exactly what Vyasa was told to write. But Narada never told, hey, this is for Paramamsas. So only Atmarame Semuneo, Nirgrante api Urukrame, Gudvanta Hetukim Bhaktim Itam Bhuto Guno Hari. They will enjoy. Which I wish ideal situation should be that. But they anyway have reached the final destination. Why should they anyway read it? They relish it, which is fine. But it is mainly important for people like us who are suffering, right? Therefore, the point is, as Usha Mataji was telling, idea is to go to Krishna. The way and means are different. This is for a lot of people who have different attitude. So in karma also we have karma mishra bhakti, bhakti mishra karma. Jnanis are also there where there is Jnana Mishra Bhakti and Bhakti Vishnad, which means both are not on number one position, but they are in 2, 3, 4 different profiles. There are also Granaries who would like to release some story or listen, and these kind of categories come. So the point is, Srimad Bhagavatam addresses all of them. Also, one more reason is that maybe Mahapuranam should have all 10 topics, right? So which we will be seeing in the, I think, 10th chapter in the same second canto, right? Atra sarga visargascha sthanam pushanam uteya manmantra ishanukata nirodha mukta ashraya. Ashraya is the ultimate destination. But these 9 aspects will have to be covered because all of us may be staying in any ashram, multiple ashrams or different areas of it. So for all these reasons, we will need to understand the topic which may or may not be of interest for us, which could be jnana, may or may not be interest for us, which is ashtanga. A, to understand how difficult it is. 2, to also understand other paths for people who are in that category. And 3, for people who may not be directly involved or interested in that, to just be aware, oh, these are also there, right? Like how Mataji was saying, consciousness, right? Self-consciousness, self-awareness. So all of that are there. Though karma, jnana, bhakti, these are all, whatever we are reading in Bhagavad Gita are always connected to bhakti. And we definitely don't need karma or jnana to reach bhakti. Bhakti is like a lift, we can get in and go up directly. But still, knowledge of these are pretty useful for us to at least stay in the material world and run out of the material world and to handle it. So with this, let's start off with the verse. I think Prabhu 15th verse. Can you please share? Hare Krishna. So basically, so the 6th verse, we were talking about the jnanis, karmis, yogis, how they can achieve perfection, right? This is a memory shloka, the 6th one. Etavan sankhya yoga vyam swadharma parinishchaya. So basically,
Can you see my
how,
screen?
yes, Prabhu, you, yes, Prabhu,
Yeah.
you play. 15, 1-5.
Okay.
1-5, you can just open that
Sorry.
sheet. Yes. So everybody is interested in Harikatha. And Sukadev Goswami, if you see, is giving his own example how the 2 shlokas made him get attracted from Brahmavadi to the great lover of Krishna. Which is why, if you see, he started, everybody liked him, Vishnu Priyaha. He became lover of Vishnu and even devotees started loving him, right? And Palastuti talks about how great hearing Bhagavata is and also how you will reach the highest good. We also saw how Sukadev Goswami appreciates Parikshit. What does he, whom does he compare with? Whom does Sukadev Goswami compare Parikshit with? In terms of, you are better off, you have 7 days. Whereas,
Katwango.
Haribol, very nice. Katwanga, how much time did Katwanga have?
1 Muhurat, 48 minutes.
Exactly, 1 Muhurta, 48 minutes. So he's telling, don't worry, Are, you have 7 days. You can actually do a lot. So now, if you see, so typically, the answer to Parikshit's questions are all now, what is the duty of a dying man? It is sort of addressed now, and we'll have more to it, like Ashtanga Yoga, which I said, which will be starting off shortly, and opinions of some sages, what is it, and how bhakti can be advanced. All of that we will start seeing from this verse. So typically, verse 15 to 39 is Ashtanga Yoga for attaining liberation. So we'll be sitting on this. So whoever wants to read, please keep your hand raised, and you all can take turns and read. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Master.
Hare Krishna.
Antakale tu purusha agate gata sadvasaha
Agate gata sadvasaha
Indyan asanga shastrinam
Chindyad asanga shastrena
Spraham dehena ye chatam.
Priham dehenu ye chatam.
Translation. At the last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of death. But one must cut off all attachment to the material body and everything pertaining to it and all desires thereof. Purport. The foolishness of gross materialism is that people think of making a permanent settlement in this world. Although it is a settled fact that one has to give up everything here that has been created by valuable human energy. Great statesmen, scientists, philosophers, etc., who are foolish without any information of the spirit soul, think that this life of a few years only is all in all and that there is nothing more after death. This poor fund of knowledge even in the so-called learned circles of the world, is killing the vitality of human energy. And the awful result is being keenly felt. And yet the foolish materialistic men do not care about what is going to happen in the next life. The preliminary instruction in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should know that the identity of the individual living entity is not lost even after the end of this present body, which is nothing but an outward dress only. As one changes an old garment, so the individual living being also changes his body. And this change of body is called death. Death is therefore a process of changing the body at the end of the duration of the present life. An intelligent person must be prepared for this and must try to have the best type of body in the next life. The best type of body is a spiritual body, which is obtained by those who go back to kingdom of God or enter the realm of Brahman. In the second chapter of this canto, this matter will be broadly discussed. But as far as the change of body is concerned, one must prepare now for the next life. Foolish people attach more importance to the present temporary life, and thus the foolish leaders make appeals to the body and the bodily relations. Bodily relations extend not only to this body, but also to the family members, wife, children, society, country, and so many other things which end at the end of life. After death, one forgets everything about the present bodily relations. We have a little experience of this at night when we go to sleep. While sleeping, we forget everything about this body and bodily relations. Although this forgetfulness is a temporary situation for only a few hours, death is nothing but sleeping for a few months in order to develop another term of bodily engagement, which we are awarded by the law of nature according to our aspiration. Therefore, one has only to change the aspiration during the course of this present body. And for this, there is need of training in the current duration of human life. This training can be begun at any stage of life or even a few seconds before death. But the usual procedure is for one to get the training from very early life, from the stage of brahmacharya, and gradually progress to the grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa orders of life. The institution which gives such training is called varnashrama dharma, or the system of sanatana dharma, the best procedure for making the human life perfect. One is therefore required to give up the attachment to family or social or political life just at the age of 50 years, if not earlier, and training in the vanaprastha and sannyasa ashrama is given for preparation of the next life. Foolish materialists, in the grab of leaders of people in general, stick to family affairs without attempting to cut off relations with them, and thus they become victims of nature's law and get gross bodies again according to their work. Such foolish leaders may have some respect from the people at the end of life, but that does not mean that such leaders will be immune to the natural laws under which everyone is tightly bound by the hands and feet. The best thing is, therefore, that everyone voluntarily give up family relations by transferring the attachment from family, society, country, and everything thereof to the devotional service of the Lord. It is stated herein that one should give up all desires of family attachment. One must have a chance for better desires. Otherwise, there is no chance of giving up such morbid desires. Desire is the concomitant factor of the living entity. The living entity is eternal, and therefore his desires, which are natural for a living being, are also eternal. One cannot therefore stop desiring, but the subject matter for desires can be changed. So one must develop the desires for returning home back to Godhead, and automatically the desires for material gain, material honor, and material popularity will diminish in proportion to the development of devotional service. A living being is meant for service activities, and his desires are centered around such a service attitude. Beginning from the top executive head of the state down to the insignificant pauper in the street, all are rendering some sort of service to others. The perfection of such service attitude is only attained simply by transferring the desire of service from matter to spirit, or from Satan to God. Satan to God. Hare Krishna.
So while we should understand one thing very clearly, the various things when we talk about Rasta, Vanaprastha, or Sannyasa, Brahmachari, all these are actually, we think these are things which bind us. But if you see, like in the first canto, we also read like what is our rule? Just like how the cows are tied, we are also tied to Vedas, right? We need to follow. There is a limit in which it can go. Like that, we also have a limitation. The reason being, either we believe in the law of Krishna or we will follow automatically the law of Maya. Might as well sit in the house and listen to the dad and mom and enjoy, luxury of AC room, nice homemade food, rather than go to the hostel and the warden creates her own rules in a very rude manner, right? So the purpose of all this is that is Varnashrama Dharma, which is also called Sanatana Dharma. But unfortunately, if you see today's politicians, do not even understand the meaning of Sanatana Dharma. And most of the time when I offer training, and this I was reminded when Pran Chaitanya Prabhu was mentioning, and last time I think you all brought out a lot of beautiful points in terms of how I can improve my sadhana. What is it I'm doing? What is it others are doing? And we thought we'll fill our gap. So that time, one thing I noticed is what I was trying to tell you a few minutes back. How come Bhagavatam is of use, right? Why is Bhagavatam not addressing only Bhakti and all things around? So there is one topic which I don't understand at all is politics. Neither have I liked it when from childhood, nor I've understood it. But today, when there is anything, I'm talking about when I'm giving presentations, not about spirituality, but when I'm giving official presentations, trainings to bankers, the topic of politics come. It is one of the most important factor which actually, disturbs or disrupts the overall economy. Now, when this topic comes, I will have no idea what to talk about, right? And obviously, you have to know a lot about your politics and all that, which is a different area all by yourself. Now, the point I really understood is this Sanatana Dharma. Indirectly, I am preaching Bhagavad Gita, and directly it is a benefit for me because that's an area which I don't know and I'm able to fill. And Bhagavatam is so beautifully helping us to fill gaps, not just in the spiritual life, but also in the material life. And what happens is that Sanatana Dharma, they had misunderstood calling this as a religion or a caste bifurcation. And people had major votes, yes, we should not have Sanatana Dharma. And I wish each one of them, like how Prabhupada had very clearly pointed, all our administrative heads, if we make them read Bhagavatam and, encourage them to become devotees, they will be perfect leaders. Because forget about whether they become perfect leaders or whether we encourage them to make them a devotee, but at least they will know the meaning of Sanatana Dharma, Varnashrama Dharma, and the purpose for which it was created. So what they are telling, Krishna is the one who created, right? Chaturvarnam Maya Tedya, Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. So why is Guna Karma? Very clearly highlights that based on your gunas and your karma, that is your qualities and your action. If you take any organization, whether it's a software company or a banking company or an oil industry, their profile is decided based on their nature. If you dig in, and I primarily work on banking, so I'll talk that. Anybody who is taking care of the sales part of it are those who will be very clear in communication, aggressive in their pitch. Somebody who's counting cash will be someone who's more loyal, more sincere, very meticulous, very clear on the operational process, all that. So which means what? Their inherent nature makes them more successful. Now, at the beginning, everybody is made to do everything, which is called the generalist. But over a period of time, you change. Same as how we do in a temple, right? We come to a temple, Prabhu will tell, Are, do whatever. You do cooking, you do clean. But later he understands, okay, you are smarter in this, then you go into it. Likewise, Guru, when you spend the entire brahmacharya, clearly understand what profile suits you, fits you, and tries to fit you into them. That is exactly what Varnashrama Dharma, which Varna did, and Ashrama is for based on our age. There are certain things we can do at a particular age, certain things we can't. It could be even a simple work like a jogging for somebody at 40 years. Doctors are saying it's not recommended. For a 25, it may mean nothing, right? It could be a general affair. Same way, ashram at 25, within 25, you get married. I know a person where she is in her 50s, right? And she's got a young child. Now, the problem with her is she's very tired by the time she brings up the child. And the father already is very worried, right? The father says, just imagine by the time this child grows up to be a teenager, we will probably be not alive to see all of that. Or even if she is a teenager, she said the child will tend to lose the parents early. Now, all I'm trying to tell is I'm not telling anybody can predict their future. And I'm not saying that somebody married young will live long to see all this. Death can happen anytime. But having said that, the disadvantage of our energies to even take the children to the next level or to see and retire. So if we have to run our entire lives to take care of them till we are 60 and 70, where will we have time to focus on Krishna? So are we going to not focus on Krishna from childhood? Yes, we are. But the fact is how much of time we'll be able to do, how much we'll be able to elevate. Because the more we are stuck in this material world, irrespective of our level, we'll only be jumping bodies. It can be like it can be like Bharat Maharaj, where we may even jump into a deer, or it can be like the fortunate or the unfortunate, Nala Kumera and his brother, where he became a tree and lived there for 5,000 years. And it can also be like, can you give me examples of someone who took into a body of an animal or something in the next life? I already gave, and I just forgot that I should have asked you.
Rajendra.
Excellent. Gajendra is an amazing example. Do you remember who? Bharat Maharaj, very nice, dear. Gajendra, do you remember who was he in his previous life, Mataji?
Indradimna, King Indra.
Yes, Indradimna. And not only him, also the crocodile. Crocodile was also a human in the previous life. His name is Kuku Sannyasi, I think, if I remember right. Kuhu or Kuhu? Kuhu. So he was a saint who entered Vishwamitra's ashram and he got the sharp, as you showed. And he became a crocodile. Now, any more examples? Can you think of someone who's extremely spiritually elevated and yet lands up in to become a lizard? Not spiritually elevated, I would say very pious king.
Chitraketu.
Chitraketu, yes, but Chitraketu did not become a lizard. Chitraketu is also
Druga Mataji.
Nirga was a classic example where the only thing which saved him was his one small bit of spiritual donation which he had given for building a temple. Apart from that, he used to be absolutely mathematical. Okay, I will do this on Ekadasi. I will do this. So the point where we are talking about is in the 15th verse, the most important thing is the person in this path should actually not be scared. He should be free from fear of death, right? Which means that before the time of death, one has to automatically detach. That is the only way to become free from death. So why we are scared of death? One is we are uncertain of the other side, but the larger side is who will take care. Like how Yudhishthira is telling, lamenting, right? I am the Bhuta, with what will my aunt do, my uncle do? Same, what will my child do? Invariably, that fear, I think most mothers have and most fathers have, and that's the only fear with which insurance company thrives, right? We are there in case you die. We can't emotionally support you, but we will financially support you. But end of the day, irrespective of which company supports what and makes hay of it, we should actually make sure that whatever we invest is a little for ourselves. Today, people are talking about you invest your time for yourself, relax, have a cup of tea and coffee. Advertisements also work around that, right? I think you should buy things for yourself. Forget about your children. It's high time you enjoy your life. Very nice, but think a little differently. It's high time to think of yourself. Everybody has to fly their own aeroplane, like how Srila Prabhupada says. We have to fly our own aeroplane of going to Vaibhav, of going to Guru. We will all collectively work, help each other. But ultimately, we have to do our journey alone. We will again meet there. That's a different point. But there is no chance of doubles. When I say doubles, it's like, since you all are going to play, I will request each one of you all, can you all do one mala, and 24 of you all are there, minus me, 23 malas done. Can I sit down and sleep? Can I do that? Can I make you people do just sadhana instead of me, and can I relax?
It's your choice, Mataji.
No, I can relax, but will I be able to go to Goloka Vrindavan?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Exactly. Maybe when I'm unwell of something, yes, you people can help me. You all can give prayers. You all can back up. You all can help. You can console me. That's a different story, which is an exception, like Abad Dharma. But that is not our regular concept, right? Regularly, that cannot be a delighted, and a substitute. So as Prabhu said, it's my choice. So my choice is not whether you all can do or I can do, but it's my choice of whether I can go or not. And that's a very costly choice. So living beings, basically, whatever aptitude they have, whatever thing, they should focus on center. There is a statement, right? Family which dines together sticks together, but actually family which prays together stays together. This is a fact. I've seen a lot of families who dine together, who sit together, but they will be like on their phone. They will just eat and go because that's the rule of the house. But if you see people who come and pray together, and there is a lot of emotion and connection. Even if we don't do it every day, my mom brought in this habit. Every day we may not be able to sit and pray together because people have different timings. So before you tell bye-bye, just tell bye to Krishna also and go. But if there is any auspicious day or an event, we'll all come together and pray. The kind of feeling we get at that time is amazing. Whether it is a small family, which is nuclear, or joint family, when we all together, all of us are together, we may not even focus on Krishna. We will just be sitting, chatting, looking at each other, looking at Prasad. But the divinity we get by sitting together and looking, at least being physically present before the Lord, is not going to come anywhere close to anything, any material activities we do. So I'm sure most of you would have experienced this. Do you agree with me? No? Yes? Do you agree or disagree with me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Completely agree, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Gives me a bit of a comfort. Please be a little more active because when I take class, I already don't touch too much of philosophy. So I don't know if it is boring for you and it is disappointing for you. Giving my best. And I would like you all also to give our best because it's always a joint journey to take it forward. Okay. So let's move to the 16th verse. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, you can go ahead and chant. Yes, Prabhu, you can also chant.
Can I chant, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead. Yama, this Yama, Niyama, Asana will cover here. Please go ahead.
Yeah, 16th verse.
That's right.
Grihat pravajito dhirah
Grihat pravajito dhira
punyatirtha jalaplutah Chucho vivikta asino
Chucho vivikta asino
Vidhivat kalpitasane.
Vidhivat kalpitasane.
Translation. One should leave home and practice self-control in a sacred place. He should bathe regularly and sit down in a lonely place duly sanctified. Purport. To prepare oneself for the better next life, one must get out of one's so-called home. The system of Varnashram Dharma or Sanatan Dharma prescribes retirement from family encumbrances as early as possible after one has passed 50 years of age. Modern civilization is based on family comforts, the highest standard of amenities, and therefore after retirement, everyone expects to live in a very comfortable life in a well-furnished home decorated with fine ladies and children without any desire to get out of such a comfortable home. High government officers and ministers stick to their prize posts until death, and they neither dream nor desire to get out of homely comforts. Bound by such hallucinations, materialistic men prepare various plans for a still more comfortable life. But suddenly, cruel death comes without mercy and takes away the great plan maker against his desire, forcing him to give up the present body for another body. Such a plan maker is forced to accept another body in one of the 8.4 million species of life according to the fruits of the work he has performed. In the next life, persons who are too much attached to family comforts are generally awarded lower species of life on account of sinful acts performed during a long duration of sinful life, and thus all the energy of human life is spoiled. In order to be saved from the danger of spoiling the human form of life and being attached to unreal things, one must take warning of death at the age of 50, if not earlier. The principle is that one should take it for granted that the death warning is already there even prior to the attainment of 50 years of age. And thus, at any stage of life, one should prepare himself for a better next life. The system of Sanatan Dharma institution is so made that the follower is trained for the next life without any chance that the human life will be spoiled. The holy places all over the world are meant for the residential purposes of retired persons. True. Getting ready for a better next life. Intelligent persons must go there at the end of life and for that matter after 50 years of age to live a life of spiritual regeneration for the sake of being freed from family attachment, which is considered to be the shackle of material life. One is recommended to quit home just to get rid of material attachment because one who sticks to family life until death cannot get rid of material attachment. And as long as one is materially attached, one cannot understand spiritual freedom. One should not, however, become self-complacent simply by leaving home or by creating another home at the holy place, either lawfully or unlawfully. Many persons leave home and go to such holy places, but due to bad association, again become family men by illicit connection with the opposite sex. The illusory energy of matter is so strong that one is apt to be under such illusion at every stage of life, even after quitting one's happy home. Therefore, it is essential that one practice self-control by celibacy without the least desire for sex indulgence. For a man desiring to improve the condition of his existence, sex indulgence is considered suicidal or even worse. Therefore, to live apart from family life means to become self-controlled in regard to sense desires, especially sex desires. The method is that one should have a duly sanctified sitting place made of straw, deer skin, and carpet, and thus sitting on it, one should chant the holy name of the Lord without offense as prescribed above. The whole process is to drag the mind from entanglements and fix it on the lotus feet of the Lord. The simple process alone will help one advance to the highest stage of spiritual success. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nicely, right? So, what are we talking about is we will be wondering what are at least in the initial stage, we'll be wondering, are all this is there in the books? Is it practically possible? How can we genuinely become detached? Because if you see, even in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, they talk about 20 points which are important, of which the most important point obviously is Guru Ashana. I'm not getting into that, but there will be a conflict of a point. When the moment we tell we should be detached, people get contradictory views about affection and detachment. If you notice, actually, Arjuna also was in love with Krishna. Krishna was in love with literally everybody. Leave that apart. Even otherwise, Arjuna really loved his wife Subhadra. He was lamenting and he was crying when his son Abhimanyu passed away. All this happened, right? So the reason I am trying to highlight this is what difference it makes in life. What should we read? Why are we doing this? How does this help us? If we actually start seeing on the face of it, when we have first when you come, none of that we'll be able to understand, right? Later, we will start understanding what love and detachment is, which means that Arjuna is always called detached person, but if you see, there is so much of stories. Love story is one of the best stories. Had anyone read that? I have said the story of Arjuna's love story with Subhadra. It is one of the fantastic love stories I've not heard much, but I've not read much of stories. I'm not a book reader, but then it is one fantastic stories. Have you all had a chance to hear or read the story? Hare Krishna. Yes or no?
Seen in
Mataji.
Mahabharata. Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So in Mahabharatam, you'll see that as a fantastic story. Obviously, Srimad Bhagavatam always gives Krishna's love story with Rukmini. So that's another beautiful story. So coming back to all of this, there is so much of love, and again they're talking about attachment. And Krishna himself is promoting prema. Why is this contradiction? The contradiction is in our mind. Loving someone, being affectionate to someone, and being attached to someone are very different. And Bhagavatam actually tells us how to do it. So I have actually seen some of our devotees after coming here, and as I said, sometimes we have to see to believe. So one example I will tell is I will take Mangala Mataji, who's here. Mangala Mataji, I hope you don't mind. I'm taking your name on this. So she lost her husband, and on the third day she was coming to write the exam. And I still remember Pran Chaitanya Prabhu telling me, hey, what is this? I said, no, I never forced her, but she was very sweet. And in fact, she told that, can I take the exam, Mataji? I am ready. And I told, yes, Mataji, please go ahead. The point is, later when I spoke to her, she also shared with me, telling that she wrote the exam well. To address it, I told, okay, Mataji, right? Because I thought this is something called she will need a diversion, let her do what she wants kind of a mentality. But later I understood when she said that I've written the exam well, I understood that spirituality sort of outbeats every single thing, irrespective of whatever, right? And imagine somebody whom she's lived with, I'm sorry, I don't know how many years, but for a very long time, if you lose, it is very difficult to come out of it. But how she could do it is because probably she's been attending to classes and all that. So that's been a big strength for her. Okay, now we will always talk about maturity comes by age. So Mataji probably, which I disagree, it is always totally different. But I'm just saying, so even going with that, we will tell, okay, Mataji has lived for a long time and probably this is there. I also had this experience yesterday when we were on a Zoom call with the Namanishta Prabhu. That time Partha Prabhu, right, Gujarati lead had called. So I, in fact, excused myself because I wanted to take his call because it's just a month since he had lost his wife. He's very young, right, and very recently married too. I think a few years, and unfortunately, she is the closest in the sense like he also has a challenge without his parents and all that. So now coming back to a larger issue, for somebody who is very young, how will they, take it? Will they get into depression? Ideally, right? People will probably be running pillar to post from one psychiatrist to another for treatment. And they will be in an absolute shell for years to come. So he was very sweet. He said, only now, Mataji, I've started reverting to a lot of them, WhatsApp. And, I still have more questions, irrespective of how we are preaching and how we do it. It's been a challenge. No doubt, I just heard him and I did not get into any advice because I don't know what to advise him because it's a very hard situation. But after he called me, after he spoke and kept the phone, the point is, whatever Namanishta Prabhu was telling on the Zoom, for a few minutes I could not hear. The reason is my mind got completely hijacked into his problem, his issue. Materialistic mind, that's one thing which can run from pillar to post. Until Prabhu came and told, hey, Radhika, you're making a note now of what I asked. And I had no idea what he spoke for a few minutes because I had lost focus on that. The reason I'm telling is we are so distracted with everything. Very small problem also we get hijacked, we get distracted. But people who are actually deeply following spirituality, you see them, that kind of strength they have, and Krishna gives this strength. Now, these are two examples of a challenge which we have.
I
Hare
want to
Krishna.
tell you one thing about I spoke to,
Yeah, sorry, Mataji, I could not hear your voice. Please go ahead. I typed a message also, you didn't hear. Go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please go ahead, Mataji.
You are able to hear? I spoke to Parth Prabhuji that day only.
I am able to hear.
Okay. And I spoke to him, Parth Prabhuji, that day. Then he told, no, I'm not able to come out of it. He's still in that material world only. I told you are taking you are the group leader also. Such a thing you are spiritually you are inclined. How you are still attached to this material world? This is you have studied in the Bhagavad Gita second chapter also, no? I explained all the things, no? Then he told Mataji.
Oh, Partha Prabhu. So I thought Pran Prabhu. Sorry.
Parth Prabhu, I told.
Parthi, okay.
I told Parth Prabhu because he is a good friend of me that time. From that time onwards, from Mayapur onwards, no? He is nice. So I told nothing to think. He is in a safe place only. You think like that. You will also one day we will go and meet them. Like that you think, and you just pull your life here till you are for some time you wait. After some time you can get remarried also because you are very young. You can do that also. Not now, right now, you just take this, come to spiritual life and do whatever Nindi Prabhuji advises you. Like that I told him.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. And also Pradeep Mataji, who's here, she also lost her husband, I think, a couple of years back through COVID. So what I'm trying to tell is these are actual tragedies. Now, this is on one side. What gave them, do this? So I'm typing personally to you all to take your permission. And with your okay, I'm going ahead and putting your names. So thanks for that. But also why I'm telling is when I take examples from the outside world, which is what Srimad Bhagavatam about, it has a lot of lively examples of people. But why I'm bringing this class situation is because the examples which are there, like Prahalad and Narada Muni, are also a long shot for us, right? It's definitely a cut above our mentality, and definitely many cuts above my mentality, which is why I'm taking examples of people here, not because I can be in line with them or par, but we'll be able to relate to a large extent, right? Thanks, Mother. So that is one thing which is happening. And also now coming back to the Vanaprastha state, I got motivated. I may not land up doing, but after a lot of hearing and reading, I've been thinking at 50, I will also not quit home or anything, but then de-link too much from official work and focus more on Krishna consciousness, have chance to do it. But meanwhile, I also see a lot of youngsters, right? Like Ankit Prabhu and all, who's already taken into this. And we also have the young couple, and I keep making fun of them, our good friend Jagannath Prabhu and Mataji. They have relocated themselves, right? Their base, because normally house and the base is considered as a great place. I live within Chennai. I was not willing to relocate anywhere abroad, right? Nowhere. I used to go abroad, work, come back here. I would not want to forget relocating, even spend beyond 2 months or 3 months, even if it was official. Because somewhere I was so attached to India and more so with Chennai. Now, even when I come to Chennai, I've been moving one place to another for my daughter's education. Now that she's just finished, the first thing which came is, let me go back to Anna Nagar. That is where I was born. So do you understand? Irrespective of that, so much of materialistic mentality is connecting us to places, including great people like Mahatma Gandhi. If you see, had given his life, he actually did a very simple life. Everything. But the unfortunate part, why I'm telling unfortunately, is he was also killed by his fellow man. Right? So when it comes to here, material life, it is very undependable. The only solution to this is to quit and go. But spiritual life, even though, as I said, we may be patients, we may be outpatients, it is always better because Krishna has started working on us and there is a treatment which is already started on us. So live examples we are seeing here in this class, how they have handled tragedy. In this class, how they have started off with following the Sanatana Dharma, which is Varnashrama Dharma, where ashrama, they've already started something like Vanaprastha. So these are things which has happened. So 16th verse, we are seeing Yama, which means that that is not for Bhakti. For us, we will stay at home. But Yama, they will not stay at home, they will go. Niyama is Saucham, right? They focus on both external purity and internal. By chanting, but largely bathing outside regularly 3 times a day. We also see a lot of devotees. I have seen there are in college, I still remember girl. I studied in a girls' college, but in spite of that, there was one girl who had taken a challenge that she would wear the same jean without washing for 1 year. Not every day she'll wear the jean, but she will not wash. I used to be very uncomfortable to go near her. And sometime back when I met her, I asked her what happened to the jean. She started laughing. She said, after that, somewhere she went into spirituality and she makes it a point that even her dupatta, and I'm giving that as an example because normally people don't tend to wash the dupattas, which are very nice, expensive ones that time, because you just wear it for a while and then it's in the hanger, like your blazer and all. But she started telling, even that I make it a point that I wash and wear. So how spirituality can actually change a person, right? And asana is like how you sit in a place, sacred place, sanctified place. All these 3 points we sort of covered in our 16th verse, because all of this, and this is not applicable for us, but we will have to have a connect to all this because indirectly we are doing this, because even chanting, like Malangala Mataji was telling, how will we reach? We might need meditation, but when we are chanting and when we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, there is all of these, whatever we are seeing, right? Yama, Niyama, Asana, automatically we are waiting there. If you observe, we may not call it as Ashtanga Yoga, but all the Ashtangas, the 8, whatever are mentioned there, directly or indirectly, we are covering. let's move to the next verse. Is the space in which I'm taking you all, or we are driving ourselves, is this clear for you? Is it too slow, too fast, or too boring?
I have a question, or maybe, just wanted to put it for discussion.
Yes.
In this verse, while I was reading it, I think I came across, that normally around 50, we have seen many people, moving to holy places along with family. We have seen, I think, many families from here also. I think they've been moving to either Vrindavan or Mayapur, I think those holy places.
Yes,
So, and when we meet in, our devotee circles, typically we discuss all these things, because we are, I mean, almost nearing 50 actually, so so we discuss all these things. What should we do, when we move to that? Obviously, kids have not grown up enough, unless they get married and all that, they get settled in their life, so we cannot. So right, we come around those kind of things, and generally people make plans in the devotee circles. Okay, let's take some place in Vrindavan, or maybe in, there are nice flats nowadays available in Mayapur and all that, so all those discussions come up, so I don't know how should we really take it up. And then we were also contemplating, why should we take home? Why should we buy it? We will just rent it, right? Why should we, because lawful, unlawful word came in the purport, so I was relating with that, because lawfully your home, not lawfully your home, right? So all that, discussions come up, but what ideally, I don't know, maybe if somebody can answer, has some view on this, how we should lead. Though I think maybe sitting at home also we can lead detached life, right?
Absolutely.
Should we really think about going to any holy place? Should we really spend time there? Maybe we can go and come back, but not like staying there, What is ideally, I think Prabhupada is trying to suggest, is what I wanted to understand from the group.
Very nice, Prabhu. One thing before the group talks about it, one thing I wanted to tell is whatever you told Vani Mataji, I missed her example. She's sort of relocated in Mayapur, which is also a part of this group. In fact, language also, if you see, she's Telugu, she's more comfortable with Telugu. For somebody to relocate from Andhra, and the reason I'm telling Andhra and Kerala specifically, I'm also Telugu, so I'm taking the benefit of using that. We are very, very attached to language, extremely attached to language. I don't know why, but this is a very nature. But for somebody like her, leaving the place and going and relocating to Mayapur is many cuts about. The reason I'm telling is not to tell that we all should leave our place and go. That was not the objective with which I am mentioning it, nor the Vanaprastha concept is explained. But overall, not that once I reach 50, I will leave the house and go to a temple. No. But the advantage I will have is at least my mindset is now thinking, okay, when Namnishna Prabhu is telling, I've not told him, but at least in my mind, I'll think, okay, let me visit the temple often. I can go sit there. That is exactly what you're also telling. You can't get out of the karma because currently we are doing our duties, right? We cannot leave everything and go because that facility we still have, but our mentality is not there. Though we can always say karmane vadigareste ma paleshu kadashana ma karma pala hetu bur mate karmani sukarmani. We can't expect the results, but we have to do our karma at the current time. We've still not reached as yet, most of us, the stage of sarva dharmam parityajaya mam ekam sharanam raja aham toam sarva papebhyo moksha ikshami masuchva. I leave my daughter. I have a daughter as well. Leave her and come automatically. It doesn't work like that, Prabhu. Mahesh Prabhu, you brought in a very practical example because even 2 minutes when I'm away, or even if I'm there in the temple, I will come and message my daughter, are you okay? Have you had food? And if she does not respond, I'll call my husband and tell, hey, did she have food? Hey, she'll have here if she's hungry. Hey, no, it is there. You see the box on that I've packed. I have kept here. The reason I'm trying to tell is they very clearly know to have food, right? It is not that they will not have, but our mentality as Prabhu, how you said, we are so much into materialist world. Even if we go into a spiritual place, our thoughts are here, right? How people do what Srila Prabhupada has told is also, if you see, Rupa Goswami, even when it comes to charity, he is told 50% of the funds. But idealistic situation, if you see, they don't insist. Srila Prabhupada in his books have mentioned that. But if you see a lot of senior Vaishnavas lectures, they actually don't stick to that number of 50. They always tell that 50 means not that you transfer the entire 50 and give to a temple. They only tell that keep it aside so that tomorrow when you're going on a holiday, Prabhu, which can include yatra for your family, you're not pinched by your regular expense money which you take. You keep it separately, you use that for yatra, right? And 10% of somebody's salary is something which they say that give to a temple. I'm talking about senior Vaishnavas lectures. If you hear, this is what it is. So Is it not that you should not give 50%? I also know a couple in Bangalore where when she was unwell, I told her, why don't you quit? Your husband can earn. She said, no, we have to give 50%. That means my 50% money goes to the temple. Another 50% money of my husband goes to the temple. Now, if I quit, Krishna will lose 50%. My husband will lose a 50% and we'll find it very difficult to run the life. These are examples also. There are people who do that. But I also agree there are people like me who cannot do that. 50%, forget 50%, pulling out some money and giving itself becomes a big task. And as you pointed out, Prabhu, 50 when we reach, whether we can do that? No. But at least the thought is there, no, Prabhu. Like how you said, I can go and come. I do not know whether the thought was in you 10 years back. It would have probably not been in me for sure 10 years back. Are you able to relate to what I'm trying to talk, Prabhu? Or
Yes, yes, very much. Yeah, definitely
So-
not 10 years back. Yeah, but only after coming very actively into the devotee circle. I think typically they keep talking. And the other family that I mentioned is also from Andhra, by the way. So they Brahmanand Prabhu here in Singapore. So he moved, relocated along with his family. First his family relocated, and then he also recently relocated, himself. And they have a home. Both they bought a land and they built a 4-story building. And how they utilize that is, for earning is basically they rent it out to many devotees who keep visiting Mayapur. So
very
that's
nice.
one
That
way
is
of,
also very
so
nice.
yeah, so
Yes.
that's one way of, associating with devotees, because all the people who stay there are
Yeah.
actually devotees, right? So that's how he has, and so that's one example. But I don't know, is that the ideal way of doing it? Because if everybody tries to buy home there, I'm sure, I think the land will not be the way it is. It will become more filled with, many people. Yeah, but I think many will keep leaving and keep joining new. So
Views vary. For example, if you take Aishwarya Mataji, she's taking care of English. She's a doctor by profession, and her husband is a business guy. Now they both relocated to Mangalore, and she's originally from Kerala. And if you see her transformation, she was a hardcore non-vegetarian. I can relate to her so well because I was one like her. So now she's relocated. A small child, when she spoke to me last time, she's telling, I'm willing to tend my child and become a brahmachari for the temple. This needs a call because her understanding is so high. She was pregnant when she was in the temple. She got her child and the child always, when we go, she'll run. Now her husband actually does temple worship. Like temple means deity worship, right? Both have taken second initiation. They do deity worship. They do that. Both of them are young. The child is about 3 years old. So you can imagine the age group they are. So what I'm telling you is there is no fixed rule that this is how it will work. But one thing which I have understood is a simple way. Whichever way we can do, we can do. If preaching is good, you can do preaching. If you can give Bhagavad Gita as gift, give it. If you can get 2 people, forget about whether it's your own house or rental house or road, right? Sit and teach them. It need not be an official group. It can be an unofficial group. It can be your school group. And Mahesh Prabhu, I would probably request you, I don't know if you already have started, you have a very nice voice to sing. You have a nice way to communicate. So I think you can start off with preaching whenever you have time, right? And I don't know if you already have. If you have, great. But if you have not, I think you should probably tie up. Online sessions are there, very comfortable timings. Whenever you want, you can always take one of those sessions and take it forward. This is just my suggestion. I'm sure you already are doing a lot, but from what a little I know about you, haven't spoken to you much. So these ways you're actually making your house Vrindavan. Prabhupada will tell that. He says that you don't have to go to Vrindavan and be in Vrindavan. If you are associated with devotees, it is Vrindavan. Right now, we are 25 of us sitting here. And we are telling we are 25 of us. But do we know how many of them are sitting here? Because whenever Bhagavatam is spoken, we have Lord Shiva, Narada, all of them coming here. Prabhupada, in one of his lectures, he told, hey, give place there. And nobody could see him. He said, Narada is hearing. So such exalted devotees can see. Definitely, I can't see. But we strongly believe from Shastra that Krishna is sitting here, right, with us, enjoying and relishing the fun we are having, trying to struggle here, right? Like how Mahesh was telling, can we do it thinking when we are quoting examples? And he is trying to laugh, I'm sure, at all of us, not in a sarcastic way, but in a very nice way, like how he smiled at Arjuna and said, okay, you guys have come. I'm glad you all are looking at me at least, which you all have never seen for ages now, decades now, lifestyle now, right? So, Prabhu, one thing I will tell is there is no one way to do this, but there are many ways which Bhagavatam tells, and start incorporating every way possible in the level you think you can. Krishna automatically will pay way, and our Balaram, who is our Dauji, who is there taking care of us because he's the Adi Guru, who's the spiritual master, and Radha Rani to always facilitate the journey. So automatically routes, locations, places, everything they will do. So don't worry. If I leave this forum to talk, next 2 hours will be hijacked by them. So I am not allowing that.
Thank you
I'm
so much,
taking
Mataji. I think that helps. I think when you brought the point of, Prabhupada said, that wherever devotees and the discussions about Krishna happens, that place itself is Vrindavan. I think that gave me a lot of solace in terms of the answer that I was looking for. Thank you so much, Mataji.
I'm so glad I'm of help. And yes, Prabhu, thank you so much. So let's move
Hare
on to
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, one more small doubt, Mataji. In
Yes.
this text 16 purport, it has been said that a sitting place made of straw, deer skin and carpet, and thus sitting on it, one should chant the holy name of the Lord without offense. So that's what Prabhupada ji is telling here. It means it means Bhakti Yoga only, no Mataji. If somebody chants the holy name.
Here they are talking about Ashtanga Yoga, because we don't follow about sitting on the straw. We don't do that. See, if you see here, they are talking about Yama, Niyama. Niyama is taking, we also take bath. That's a different thing. But there the process is different. We never sit on straw mat and all. We only make it a point that we don't sit on the floor, we use a cloth. I have never sat on a straw. The reason they sit on deer mat or straw is because they are in an isolated place, and these grass like pusha grass or the deer skin does not attract the worms or insects, scorpions, because they will go into trance for many years, right? For us, we are already in a very clean and hygienic place. So when we chant, we don't have to fear any attack from these kind of non-wildly or insects kind of a stuff. So what Prabhupada has said is chant the holy names of the Lord. That part applies, right? But here, they may not even be chanting Hare Krishna. Even to chant Hare Krishna, they will have a challenge. They will probably largely focusing in Omkara, right? Only after enough of trial of all this Omkara, finally they will be able to even chant for, and not even getting into Maha Mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Even to tell that, they won't be able to focus. You are able to understand nothing. Because they are doing mechanical way. Are we focusing on chanting? No, I'm also not focusing. But the fact is, the point is, this is Krishna is taking care in Bhakti Yoga. Here, I'll tell you the difference, Mataji. What do you pray God? There are only two set of people who pray God, right? One set of people who may even call it atheists, natheists, whatever, pray God for a check. Check in the sense, I need money, I need house. This is one. People like us, we're like that, and now we believe that we will ask Krishna, because if Krishna comes, everything comes handy, right? So that is second level. Pure devotees, I'm not even talking. Pure devotees are already there. Now there is also one set of people telling there are a lot of problems in the body. I want to reach Brahmajyoti. They also meditate on the Lord. They tell the holy names of the Lord. But what is their motive? Their motive is not to go to the Lord, but to go to Brahmajyoti. You understand, Mataji, what I'm trying to see? Like,
So it means like the consciousness made, we have to differentiate whether it is Bhakti Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, Mataji.
Excellent. So they may focus on Paramatma, and even merging into the Lord has two concepts. Merging into the Lord in the sense, when we are talking about Brahmajyoti, there are two Brahmajyotis. Second one, we don't highlight. One thing which is very much highlighted is you are there in the Brahmajyoti and you'll be hanging there. We don't know what to do. We'll come back. We don't focus on Seva. But there is also one more Brahmajyoti which is merging into Lord. It is not highlighted, but Prabhupada very clearly tells merging into Lord, that Brahmajyoti, it will come in Chaitanya Charitamrita in detail, that Brahmajyoti is more dangerous than, because that is wrong. You can't even think of that. Both the Brahmajyotis are wrong. But particularly this is even worse than merging into the light. Merging into Krishna's body is even more a desirous thought which you should not have. That is why they say Salokya Samipya Shastri Sarupya Ekatvam Apiuta. Diya manana grinanti, mat seva nam jahana. If he is not given seva, whatever you're talking about, salokya, sarupya, shasti, I don't want, he's saying. All he needs is seva for the Lord. Ekatvam is sayuja, definitely no. Two types of sayuja I told, right? One is Brahmajyoti. So these people are focusing more on sayuja liberation. They are not focusing on any of the other four. So Ashtanga yogis focus, if their destination is also Krishna, well and good. They will go. But most of the time, their destination is not Krishna. Their focus is Krishna to reach the destination, which is Brahmajyoti. Did I answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes, 17th chapter. 17th verse, sorry.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Abhyasen manasa shuddham.
Abhyate manasa shuddham
Trivrid Brahmaksharam Param
Trivid Brahmaksharam Param
Mano Yachejita Shvaso
Mano Yashejit Shvaso
Brahma Bijam Avismaran.
Brahma Bijam Avismaran.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After sitting in the above manner, make the mind remember the three transcendental letters Om, and by regulating the breathing process, control the mind so as not to forget the transcendental seed. Purport. Omkara or Pranava is the seed of transcendental realization, and it is composed of three transcendental letters Om. By its chanting by the mind, in conjunction with the breathing process, which is transcendental but mechanical way of getting into trance, as devised by the experience of great mystics, one is able to bring the mind, which is materially absorbed, under control. This is the way of chanting the habit of mind. The mind is not to be killed. Mind or desire cannot be stopped, but to develop a desire to function for spiritual realization, the quality of engagement by the mind has to be changed. The mind is the pivot of the active sense organs, and as such, if the quality of thinking, feeling, and willing is changed, naturally the quality of actions by the instrumental senses will also change. Omkara is the seed of all transcendental sound, and it is only the transcendental sound which can bring about the desired change of the mind and the senses. Even a mentally deranged man can be cured by the treatment of transcendental sound. In Bhagavad Gita, the Pranava, Omkara, has been accepted as the direct, literal representation of the supreme absolute truth. One who is not able to chant directly the holy name of the Lord, as recommended above, can easily chant the Pranava Omkara. This Omkara is a note of address, such as, O my Lord. Just as Om Hari Om means, O my Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As we have explained, before the Lord's holy name is identical with the Lord Himself. So also is Omkara. But persons who are unable to realize the transcendental personal form or name of the Lord on account of their imperfect senses, in other words, the neophytes, are trained to practice of self-realization by this mechanical process of regulating the breathing function and simultaneously repeating the pranava, omkara, within the mind. As we have several times expressed, since the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, etc. of the personality of Godhead are impossible to understand with the present material senses, it is necessary that through the mind, the center of sensual activities, such transcendental realization be set into motion. The devotees directly fix their minds on the person of the absolute truth. But one who is unable to accommodate such personal features of the absolute is disciplined in impersonality to train the mind to make further progress. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I hope it answers your question now. It's already come. So Maha Mantra is like a super duper answer, but many won't be able to even get there. You might be wondering who. I think I've seen this actually. Whenever there is kirtan, general singing, I have noticed in my apartment where everybody will assemble, right? So anything, irrespective of which deity they move, I always make it a chance that I go and conclude with Hare Krishna mantra. So I will tell Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I tell this is Yuga Dharma and you all can chant. Not chant as in not even go and chant one time. So now we will all be telling that no, maybe there are Muslims, there are Christians, so they're not chanting. But trust me, even the so-called Hindus, they can't tell. They will keep their light. Next time, notice, they'll keep their lips so tight. I don't know, as if, I don't quite understand why they give that kind of a face, as if somebody is going to give a knife on their neck. If they tell Hare Krishna mantra, you would slice off your neck. But somebody like me, if you keep a knife, I will not even speak a word. And but that kind of a feeling you will get with these people, right? Why are they so lip tight? Because it's so easy. that is when I remember Prabhupada mentioning that it is easy only if you have the mercy of Lord and the Guru. While you are all thinking, oh, reading Bhagavatam is easy, of course, writing exam is difficult. That is not what I'm telling. But then it's easy. Sitting in Bhagavad Gita is easy because we are in this world. But actually, if you get into the world, it is, if you see the world, it's very difficult. I remember when we had our Isho session, level 2, Namanishta Prabhu asked, how many people do you think are atheists in this world? And I'm going to ask this question. And I wish someone answers like me. So let me ask this question before we take a detour. How many you think in this world are atheists? Percentage. Or how many are devotees? Whichever way you want to take, you can answer. Out of 100. How many are atheists in the world? What is happening? Are you all there?
To my
Okay.
knowledge, nobody is an atheist. Everybody believes in God in a different way. They may, for argument's sake, they may say like, they don't believe in God. But
Sure.
if they say there is no God, itself shows that, they are negating something which is there. So I believe that, nobody is a pure atheist.
Lalita, but percentage I want out of 100.
Oh, no.
I told you, no, I can't.
Mataji, at
Wait.
least in Singapore, they have done analysis. Around 20% of people are atheists.
Very nice. One number she's got. Yes, I want mathematics, statistics. Someone give me statistics. No other figure, only two of you all spoke. Lalita Mataji, I will, you will tell the same answer to Namanishta Prabhu also. And I'll tell you what answer he will give.
That's a general answer, I said. I didn't read any scripture or anything.
Yeah. No. I'm not talking about scripture.
Whatever I have
General
understood.
only he asked. I'm also answering generally only. I also answer generally only. It's my view, right? It's not scriptural view because scriptural view cannot be different. You can have your own view. I can have my own view because Prabhu is asking, what do you think? So it's our opinion. And Rohini Mataji has also shared Singapore statistics. She has one number to back. And I never had a number. I gave my view just as you did. Anybody else?
The Google says that 450 to 500 million people identify themselves as atheist globally.
Very nice. So Mamta has gone into statistics. So all this is exactly what I also spoke, and I did not have statistics to prove it. I think my figure was close to Rohini Mataji's figure. I said, Prabhu, I think about 80% will be spiritual devotees, 70-80% will be devotees. Are you sure? I said, probably a little more, but 70-80, 90. And I told probably it will be more tilted. In India, it will be like 90%. Rest of the world, it could be a little lower is what I told. And he smiled. And you know what figure he took? Can anyone guess?
80% are atheists.
Thank you so much. Very close. Who's that person who spoke? You heard Prabhu talking. You, hello?
No, I didn't hear it.
You, I knew you were there in the class. You sneaked into the class and you heard it. Hare Krishna. Sorry. Sorry, Prabhu and me always keep fighting. So it's very difficult to resist my argument with him in the forum too. So actually, Namanishta Prabhu told, why you're telling this figure, Radhika? Because you are only relating yourself to the group where you're sitting here, which is this group or the other group. I said, no, Prabhu, I know because I'm moving, I work, I'm at home, I go. So he said, no, it's not true. He said 99% of them are atheist. Can you believe? He said 99% are atheist in some form or the other. And I would blindly go with this figure. And later I would also see that even Isho Upanishad in one of the verses mentioned that over 90%, in fact, it mentions over 90% clearly are atheist. This is scripture. This is what Prabhu told, and I think even here, Jashwant Prabhu is supporting this number. So where I'm telling is, while statistics will have its own definition, and I'm not questioning statistics. So why I'm telling is, then for atheists, telling the name of the Lord is very difficult. Which is why Bhagavatam, it says, whether you tell in a funny way, whether you laugh and tell, whether you cry and tell, whichever way you mock, it's fine. So there is one neighbor who's a Christian, and he always wants to irritate me by mocking me, telling that, I am not... Even he deliberately tells, I can't pronounce your name, it's very difficult, so I'll call you Krishna. Krishna, he'll call me. I do pretend as if I'm extremely angry because I like to be called, but the fact that he calls every time me Krishna, I love it. And I also remember the Srimad Bhagavatam verse that, even if you tell the name Hare Krishna for fun, hey, this Hare Krishna Goshti is going. Many people mock us also in those ways. Even then, they have mentioned the name of Krishna. Right. For that matter, even my daughter, when she mocks me, like last week I was telling, you go fast, you will bump, and then you will tell Krishna, Krishna. she's actually mocking not the Lord, but she's mocking me. But needless to say, even if she's mocking, then indirectly she's she's chanting. Right? It is, of course, here this is all within our community, but even if it is the person who was mocking me, the neighbor, he was a Christian. So all I'm trying to tell is any form of Lord, whether they are mocking you, making fun of you, whether you're doing this, that, eventually they say that, it's like tick mark from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As he said, anybody who chants the Lord's name once also is qualified as a devotee. Of course, this is Kanishta, he's talking, he has various level, but I'm just telling. So this probably answers our question where she's talking about why should they tell Omkara, because chanting the name of the Lord also is difficult. But Omkara, is it easy? That is also difficult, but it is more of a mechanical triggering it. Omkara is pranama mantra. Om. In that akara, ukara, makara. Akara relates to Krishna. Ukara is Radha Rani and makara is us. But that is also very difficult. That is all I was trying to tell. Because many things like what their focus on samadhi, and for us when we are dreaming about Krishna trying to play around with Rukmini is also samadhi. Ours is very easy, but for us to go there is difficult. And for them to go there is a long shot. So which is why they are trying to get into this form before they focus on the forms which we are talking. Yeah. So I think we can do one more verse. So can we can go to the 18th. So quickly, whatever we saw, we'll summarize later, but let's go to the 18th. So typically what we saw in the 17th is pranayama, right? Omkara is pranayama, right? Whichever way you pronounce now, that breathing which they tell, right? And Mangala Mataji was telling pranayama. I've never done pranayama, but I also noticed that when we do chanting, automatically pranayama, which is the mechanical process, is built into it. Because what do we tell? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We are supposed to breathe. But as you keep practicing, you try and hold your breath for a very long time. You start thinking. First time when I chanted, I could not chant twice also Krishna's name. I will tell Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama. My mom was telling, what are you doing? Why are you murdering the name? Can't you tell in one line? I find it very difficult to breathe. No idea why. But now if I have to take, I will be able to tell a few lines at one shot, and I don't even realize that I've not taken a breath. After that, I continue. Even a one round of chanting, I remember drinking water, going around, doing all that. While my mom found it very easy, she finished her one round at one shot. But it was very difficult for me. My first round was so difficult. I don't know how many anarthas was there. Krishna willing, mercy of Krishna and Sadhu. In about 3 months' time, straight away, one day I hit off on 16 rounds. And from that day onwards, I continue to do 18 rounds every day. But the first round was very difficult. That is what I'm telling. So each of us will have a challenge in our own way. The Omkara is easier. If I have to tell Om, not that I've said Om earlier, they find it easier. Same way when we tell Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You are taking like 2, 3 without a breath, and that also automatically expands your lungs, contracts, which is nothing but scientific pranayama, which is also your lung exercise, which doctors tell, hold your breath. Whichever way you take, we are indirectly, they are directly following pranayama. Breathing exercises work towards pranayama, and Hare Krishna mantra imbibes pranayama. I hope I've answered questions in our minds. No? Okay. Anyway, I'm going. 18th verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, verse 18. Niyached vishayebhyokshan manasa buddhi sarathihi
Manasa buddhi sarathihi
manah karma bhirakshiptam
Manah karma virakshiptam
Shubharte dharayedhiya.
Subharte dharayedhiya.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. The first process of spiritualizing the mind by mechanical chanting of the Pranava Omkara and by control of the breathing system is technically called the mystic or yogic process of pranayama, or fully controlling the breathing air. The ultimate state of this pranayama system is to be fixed in trance, technically called samadhi. But experience has proven that even the samadhi stage also fails to control the materially absorbed mind. For example, the great mystic Vishwamitra Muni, even in the stage of samadhi, became a victim of the senses and cohabited with Menaka. History has already recorded this. The mind, although ceasing to think of sensual activities at present, remembers past sensual activities from the subconscious status and thus disturbs one from 10% engagement in self-realization. Therefore, Shukdev Goswami recommends the next step of a short policy, namely to fix one's mind in the service of the personality of Godhead. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also recommends this direct process in the Bhagavad Gita 6.47. Thus, the mind being spiritually cleansed, one should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord by the different devotional activities of hearing, chanting, etc. If performed under proper guidance, that is the surest path of progress, even for the disturbed mind. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Very nice and very important point which we are doing is Omkara is Pranava mantra. And when we are working on the mechanical process of controlling, it's called the mystic or the yoga, which is called the pranayama, right? So the pranayama, once you have complete control over the breath, right? You're able to focus and stay there. At that stage is where you slowly elevate to trance. Now let's see a small twist in how this is working, right? So this is ideally supposed to work. Like I keep practicing, it will come. But ideal situation is very different from how Mahesh Prabhu asked. What is the ideal situation? What Prabhupada said. Because the process is supposed to be, I finish my yama, niyama, I go to asana, then I do pranayama, I start doing omkara, I will get focus. That is my wish. But reality is not that. So when I do pratyahara, let's say, what is my desire? There can be two desires. One desire, let's say, can be on the Virat Rupa. Remember, I already told Brahman effulgence, Virat Rupa. For a neophyte, this is called the neophyte stage. It is basically the starting stage for them, according to them. So they will proceed. They will be focusing on that yoga. Now, the advanced yogi will start having absolutely no desire, which will be the Paramatma stage. So now there are two things, right? I'm repeating again. Pranayama is he is breathing. Now he has got complete control, which means he has no desire. He will actually do what? That's called Dharana Shraya, right? You're taking Ashraya on the Dharana at that stage. You are going to take the Paramatma stage, right? And you become an advanced devotee. Now the next option is, okay, I am not able to get into advanced devotee stage. What should I do? Then I will a neophyte. I will focus on Virat Rupam. Again, I will have two choices. After focusing on the Virat Rupam, do I have desire? Yes. No. If I don't have a desire, I will now go and focus on Paramatma. You understand? So the stage is like that. I have desire. Okay, focus. You are a starter. Do Virat Rupa. Okay, I will think of Lord, the head of the Lord, body of the Lord. All of that. I will think. I chant. You have done with the desire. Yeah, further desires I have. Okay, very good. You finished. Now go to high class. Go focus on Paramatma. You become advanced. Okay. Now you still have desire. What I can. I'm focusing on Virat Rupa. I still have desire means I will go to what is called a loka called the Vaishvanara Loka. Right? You would have heard of Vaishvanara. Even in our stomach, there is this Agni. There is the Loka, one of the Lokas of Agni in the stomach, which is helping in digestion. So there is one separate Loka. Please do not ask me GPS. I am very poor in routes, even inside Chennai, next to my house itself. So this geography part, if you want, you have to ask Pran Chaitanya Prabhu. But whatever I have read, I am just sharing with you. So even if you reach the Samadhi state, people can get disturbed. Why am I telling people can get disturbed is, this is the crucial situation you should understand. In an Ashtanga yogi, a mechanical process is self-driven. Prabhupada always tells the difference between a Bhakta yogi and an Ashtanga yogi is like a monkey and a cat. The cat holds the child, right? Normally it holds the child when it takes. That means the child will be shaking the leg hand. Very rare you will see the child falling off because the grip is on the mother. Whereas the Ashtanga Yogi is like a monkey baby. Monkey baby holds on to the mother. Very rarely the monkey baby will leave, but we are monkeys. So if we are following that, we will leave off. So the chance of a cat leaving the child, its cup, is much, much lesser compared to a monkey because there the child is holding. So Ashtanga yogis work like that. Like they work, they focus, they put their effort. It's more mechanical. Here they are completely under the protection of the Lord. Now you will tell Mataji, you are giving example. You're talking about Samadhi. This fellow slipped and fell. Let me give you so many examples of devotees who have slipped and fallen. Okay, give me example of devotees who slipped and fallen. Now I am leaving the room to you. We are talking about Vishwamitra, fine. Aren't devotees fallen? Hare Krishna. Yes or no?
Yes,
Ajamila.
Ajamila.
Ajamila, very nice. Next.
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj, I can't call it a slip, but I won't tell fallen, but I will tell it's a slip. But definitely not fallen. Yes, but the answer is perfect. Bharat Maharaj.
Saubhari. Saubhari.
Saubhari Rishi is not a devotee. Saubhari Rishi followed Ashtanga Yogi.
Yeah.
But that's an example for Ashtanga Yogi. Ashtanga Yogi fallen, we can write books. Devotee. So these two cases, let's take, what happens is automatically Krishna is taking care. If you notice what I said, Chipram Bhavati Dharmahma Shashvat Chanse Agachati. Kaunteya Prati Janeti Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Krishna, only Arjuna tell, my devotee will never perish. Why is Krishna telling Arjuna to tell? Can't Krishna talk? He's only talking Lord Loda throughout Bhagavad Gita. Why is Krishna telling Arjuna? Will Krishna have a
Communicate to us. Communicate to us.
But he can tell directly, no, he's telling Arjuna, he's telling Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna through us. That is clear, Prabhu. That's not my question. Why is Krishna telling Kaunteya Prati Janiti Name Bharta Pranashati? Kaunteya boldly declare that my devotee won't perish. There he is not informing Arjuna. He is telling Arjuna, you declare that devotee will not perish. Why? Krishna is telling Arjuna to be the guarantor, like bank surety. He's telling Arjuna to do the work.
Devotees' words are more respected and valuable. Devotees' words are taken more seriously. They're accepted.
Devdashini Mataji, Priya. Is that you?
Yeah, it's me, yeah.
I could not hear your voice throughout, only now.
Devotees' words are taken.
Now I heard. I mean, for the past 1.5 hours, I did not hear you chanting or anything.
No, devotees' words are actually taken more seriously. I mean, they reach the hearts of people more than the Lord himself saying.
Excellent. Bhakta Vatsala. Krishna also will forego his word. Small millisecond possibility. But once his devotee commits, he has to make sure that the word is kept to the brim, including if it is at the cost of his own word. Any example? Where even if his word got affected, he still kept up the promise of devotee.
Mahadana
broke his vow to not lift the weapon, any weapon in the Kurukshetra battle.
One time. That is one time. One more time.
To protect Parikshit from the...
Excellent. That also, one more time, Parikshit. That time also he broke his morality, right? He was still, that war had not reached that what you call Purti stage. It was still that he was not supposed to pick a weapon, but both the times he picked up the weapon. So all of that Krishna has been doing. So we may tell that Krishna is like Chuma. He will break his word. So he's telling Arjuna, you tell, because if you tell, people know for sure, I have no choice. I have to keep up the word. So automatically we will do. The reason I'm telling you, in Ashtanga Yogi, they themselves fell. Vishwamitra fell twice. First time he fell for the girl. Second time he fell for anger. Because second time he knew I will not fall for the girl, but he got angry. Right? So the point all I'm trying to tell is, irrespective of whoever did whatever, Krishna will protect. So the Samadhi state is taken care with the protection, with the guarantor, who is Krishna himself in this case. Whereas in Ashtanga Yogi, there is no guarantor, he is self-guarantee. A bank in a materialistic world does not accept anything without surety. It can be a property, which can be a surety, which is a non-living thing, or a person who acts as a surety. Whereas spiritual world, Krishna has become a surety. So what kind of guarantee? Whereas in Ashtanga Yoga, you have only one guarantor, who is yourself. You have to do, you are the assurer, you are the guarantee and all. How do you think it's going to work, right? So these are the various things which are happening. So I'm just giving you, these are basically very broad outline. For Ashtanga Yogi, they have what is called the Brahma Mukti or the Karma Mukti, right? So, be reaching the Brahma Jyoti, or they will reach the whatever I'm telling Vaishnava, Vaishvanara Loka is more of Krama Mukti, they say. Krama Mukti means it is not the ultimate destination even for them. For them also, the Brahman realization is ultimate. For that, they have many kuti kuti lokas, right? They'll have Mahar Loka, Brahma Loka, Shushtuma Loka, all of that. So all of that they have to do and come back here. So this is what the story is. So this is the bottom line, and the process is more or less defined there. So like how we will get stuck at Anartha Nivritti, they all get stuck at the Pratyahara stage for a very long time. They have to beat it to go up. For us, beating is difficult, but we don't have to worry because Krishna is there. But for them, it is very difficult because they have to depend only on themselves. So withdrawing mind from any sense activity is what is Pratyahara. That is the most difficult stage which they are going to have. But once they cross the stage, which here itself they have explained, is the Dharana stage, which is they are fixing the mind on the Lord's form. Very clearly, they fix the mind in Lord's form, which is what I was telling, which is the next level, which is what is for the step of an Ashtanga Yogi, which is what is not only explained here, it is also clearly brought in. Let's try do the next verse. Is it okay? Is it overwhelming? Or what do you want to do? You want me to stop or you're able to follow? Because if it is 19th verse, we'll cover off this completely. Can we do just 19th verse?
You said, I think.
Yes, Mataji, we can.
Thank you so much.
Mataji, you said, I think 1.5 hours you will tell something.
Yeah, thanks for reminding, Prabhu. Just this is the last verse. With that, we'll finish the steps of that. And then I will tell that announcement. I will stop like this. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. 19th verse. So many hands are up. Yeah, one of you all unmute and talk. Whoever, Reena Mataji, yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tatraika vayam gyayed.
Tatraika
vayam
gyayed.
Avyuchinnena chetasa.
Avyuchinnena chetasa.
Mano nirvishayam yuktva.
Mano nirvishayam yuktva.
Tatah kinchana nasmaret.
Tatah kinchana smaret.
Padam tat paramam vishnur.
Padam tat paramam Vishnu.
Mano yatra prasidhati.
Mano yatra prasidhati.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, you should meditate upon the limbs of Vishnu one after another without being deviated from the conception of the complete body. Thus, the mind becomes free from all sense objects. There should be no other thing to be thought upon. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is the ultimate truth, the mind becomes completely reconciled in Him only. Purport. Foolish persons, bewildered by the external energy of Vishnu, do not know that the ultimate goal of the progressive search after happiness is to get in touch directly with Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Vishnu Tattva is an unlimited expansion of different transcendental forms of the personality of Godhead, and the supreme or original form of Vishnu Tattva is Govinda or Lord Krishna, the supreme cause of all causes. Therefore, thinking of Vishnu or meditating upon the transcendental form of Vishnu, specifically upon Lord Krishna, is the last word on the subject of meditation. This meditation may be begun from the lotus feet of the Lord. One should not, however, forget or mislead from the complete form of the Lord. Thus, one should practice thinking of the different parts of his transcendental body, one after another. Here in this verse, it is definitely assured that the Supreme Lord is not impersonal. He is a person. But his body is different from those conditioned persons like us. Otherwise, meditation beginning from the Pranava Omkara up to the limbs of the personal body of the Vishnu would not have been recommended by Shukadeva Goswami for the attainment of complete spiritual perfection. The Vishnu forms of worship in great temples of India are not, therefore, arrangements of idol worship, as they are wrongly interpreted to be by a class of men with a poor fund of knowledge. Rather, they are different spiritual centers of meditation on the transcendental limbs of the body of Vishnu. The worshipable deity in the temple of Vishnu is identical with Lord Vishnu by the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Therefore, a neophyte's concentration or meditation upon the limbs of Vishnu in the temple, as contemplated in the revealed scriptures, is an easy opportunity for meditation for persons who are unable to sit down tightly at one place and then concentrate upon Pranava Omkara or the limbs of the body of the Vishnu, as recommended herein by Shukadeva Goswami, the great authority. The common man can benefit more by meditating on the form of Vishnu in the temple than on the Omkara, the spiritual combination of A, U, Ma, as explained before. There is no difference between Omkara and the forms of Vishnu, but the persons unacquainted with the science of absolute truth try to create dissension by differentiating between the forms of Vishnu and that of Omkara. Here, it is indicated that the Vishnu form is the ultimate goal of meditation, and as such, it is better to concentrate upon the forms of Vishnu than on impersonal Omkara. The later process is also more difficult than the former. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
I'm sorry, I just laughed because very beautifully read, but I just laughed because I just thought of something. So one of our devotees' house, when I had visited out of not in Chennai, that time our husband was very nice. He was talking to me and he was telling me, I will make it a point. I will not tell Hare Krishna, but I will make you tell Hari Om. Okay, and 2-3 times after that, when he said Hari Om, he said Hari Om. See, you also told Hari Om. I made you tell. I said, yeah, I know you made me tell. Thank you, and I left. Then he said, okay, 1 second, wait. I said, what? I said, Anna, what? Baya, what? He said, Hare Krishna. I said, why? Thank you, I told. So because I said Hari Om, he said he is also wanted to reciprocate to me and he said Hare Krishna. Now the irony here is, what is the difference between Hari Om and Hare Krishna? Technically, there's no difference. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell? Om means Akara, Ukara, Makara, which is representing Krishna. Hari directly represents Krishna because it means that Krishna who is going to steal everything from the heart. Now, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is talking about directly Vishnu Tattvas, which is Krishna himself and Balaram, Ram, or it can be either Ram or Balaram, depending upon what you want and whom you like. Now, coming back to that, so these two things, or Krishna himself, who's Radhika Ramanan, all three versions are there for Ram. It also can imply Parasuram. So, with all these versions, Hare is the energy of Krishna. So, Omkara is already built in all of this. So now making me tell Hari Om, he felt it was a great achievement. And just like a concession for children, we tell no, Hare, you gave, okay, I'll tick off. So I will tell you Hare Krishna. In the process, I realized, look at Omkara, how powerful it is. Making me tell Omkara is no big deal because I'm willing to tell everything. But he told he will not tell Hare Krishna, but the Omkara itself made him tell Hare Krishna. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain? Did I make sense or did it go?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you
It's
so
so
much.
powerful, yeah, it's very powerful.
Yeah. So the point what I'm trying to tell is Omkara is also Hare Krishna mantra in its different form, and Hare Krishna mantra is ultimate. If you say that, you don't need this. And also, Mahesh Prabhu, you asked a question, where should I go? How do I meditate? This is a process. They are very clearly told, once you go to a temple, worshipable deity, physically you go there and sit and you meditate on the limbs of the deity, either physically being there or mentally you think it's also same. I'll tell you how. Today we are talking about deity worship, which is made of a lot of things, right? It can be stone. Come on, you all tell me. What are all the material substances with which deity can be done?
Stone, metal, wood,
Metals,
Metal, sandalwood,
paint
wood.
also.
clay.
Jewel, right? It can also be made with brain as in thinking, right? That is called the memory, right? Or the, not even memory, what do you call it? In our memory, we can bring the Lord, right? So all these forms are there. So mana. So with all that, we can create the worshipable deity. Now you will tell all of that, whatever you told are gross elements. That is sand, stone, jewel and all. Now mind is a subtle element. Irrespective of gross or subtle, both are matter, material. How can you make it is only matter you tell? But you should understand, Krishna, if you read Isha Upanishad, you will be clear. Isha Vashamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tiktena Bunjita Ma Gruda Kashya Svidhanam. So, Isha Vasham principle talks about everything belongs to Krishna, which also means the sand, the paint, the stone, all of that belongs to Krishna. We have to be very clear. So therefore, when the sand stone becomes Krishna, then why can't we do that with Lord? Many people will tell with stone only you made Lord. But stone itself is Lord. No? See, everything belongs to Krishna. So stone is also Lord. If I'm going to write Krishna, Krishna is also Lord. If I'm going to make with the clay, Krishna is Lord. That is also Lord. So the point is Krishna is coming for us to get service through the form of deity. But everything you admire in Krishna, including his dress, which appeared to me, at least initially when I looked at him, I used to think, I'm getting attracted by the dress. I'm very materialistic. Later, my first teacher told, you can look, yeah, so that is also spiritual only. Then I understood that whatever Krishna is wearing is Balram. So anyway, you are touching Vishnu Tattva. It's not even energy, it's direct Vishnu Tattvas. So the worshipable deity in the temple who is Vishnu is identical to Lord Vishnu who is sitting there. It's identical to Krishna. It's identical to Vishnu, Mahavishnu, who's creating all these andas. All are same. But for a neophyte, he will be able to meditate only on the limbs of the Lord. Whereas somebody who is like a sannyasi or an ashtanga yogi, the very concept of home. That is it. So, Maishno, why I pulled your name is so that what they are trying to link is irrespective of wherever, you just have to put your heart and mind, right? Whether you are an Ashtanga yogi or whether you are a devotee. So that is one challenge which we will have. But barring that, it is not that you have to leave anything and go. You just have to. Krishna conscious is not about leaving everything. It's about living with everything and understanding that Krishna is everything. So therefore, finally, the 19th one talks about dana. That means meditating on each limb of the Lord without even focusing, without diluting, without part we do. No? That is what is Srimad Bhagavatam also. Without deviating from the concept. So Krishna is a person, therefore you're focusing. What is samadhi? Whatever you're doing physically for a neophyte, you're doing mentally. Mind you're focusing. Right? The dana you're seeing with your eye, you're trying to connect the whole body. With your mind, when you connect, it is samadhi. Are we clear?
Yes, a question.
Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Mataji,
I just want to ask a question.
Sure, Prabhu. Please go ahead. Sorry, somebody else also spoke. Sorry.
Mataji, please repeat Mataji once.
Sorry, Reena Mataji.
Mataji, please repeat Mataji, whatever you said just now.
Acha. Mahesh Prabhu, just 1 second, I'll finish. So all I was telling is there are two things. I go to the temple, my eye I see, I smell. Physically, I use my body and focus. Yes or no? Mataji, you go to temple and do what?
Yes, Mataji.
Huh? So I will look and meditate. I will use my senses, physical senses, body, gross senses, and I meditate. That is called dhyana. I come with my mind and meditate. That is, mind is fully on Vishnu. That is called samadhi. From an Ashtanga yogi point of view. Did I make it clear?
Yeah, a little difficult to understand.
Also,
Mataji. I have to
mind is
meditate.
involved.
This is a very difficult subject for me. That is why I was thinking I will escape and pull Pran Chaitanya Prabhu.
Well, dhyana also involves mind. Dhyana.
Dhyana
Dhyana is
also involves
focusing the
mind,
mind.
Mataji, but that is why I use the word meditate. I never say saw. But how does your dhyana instigate? I'm telling you how. See, there is a starting stage for dhyana to instigate. Everything is mind. Right from dharana, it is mind only, fixed in the form of Lord. I am telling you how, in the sense, when you meditate on each limb of the Lord, right, without you're not deviating this way, that way, then you start having concept of the whole body of the Lord. You understand? You start off. I'm not telling you are going to be doing it without the mind. You have to have mind, but you have a focus of an object before your eye with which they do. We are comparing only deity worship in this concept. Do you understand? So how they do is they will look at the hand, they will meditate. If you notice, Sangha, Chakra, Gada, Pratha, with each of them, they will meditate. Lord Ramanuja Sampradaya, they love the Lord in the sleeping posture, Saina posture. That half dozy, sleepy, Saina posture. They love to meditate in each part of the thing. They will look at the eye, they'll meditate. They look at the lip and they. We also do that. I'm not telling we are different, but I'm just giving an example. Right. So that one is called dhyana, but largely meditating on each limb of the Lord, right? That one, by looking, putting that in your mind, physical, and putting that in your mind and meditating is called dhyana. In samadhi stage, what they do is completely, they will, the entire Vishnu, right? Without any other thought, completely focusing. In dhyana, you might have a little bit of, what should I say? Mind goes here and there, like us. But there, at that stage, there is no diversion of mind. It is frozen. Dhyana stage has got little bit of like your bhava and prema. I'm just giving it closer. Dhyana goes little bit here and there. Focus gets diluted. But in samadhi stage, it is ultimate. And after samadhi only, you'll go for Brahman realization. Right? They talk about various things. Now they're lifting the prana, to Mula Chakra, all that. At that stage only, you will get liberated. So the Brahman realization happens only after the samadhi. Dhyana is by looking at it, I take it and copy. Just like exam. Just like your test and your exam. What do we do in test? We study that chapter, we write the questions, we finish the answers and write. Dhyana. Module 1, full test. Full samadhi of the chapter, no, first, second, third verse, this verse, that verse. First one is like a memory recall. I just put it, I come immediately right. After 2 months, I may not remember. But the way we are hitting and trying to understand our module 1 and module 2 exam is like deep samadhi that we have learned it so well. Even if we ask after 6 months, we may not be able to tell which verse, which chapter, but we will be very clear with the gist of the subject because we are seeing it in totality completely. Reena Mataji. Prabhu, you can stop sharing. Hare Krishna. Is that close to understanding? Hare Krishna. Priya Mataji, did I make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Mahesh Prabhu, you had a
Samadhi
doubt.
stance. Samadhi is ultimate.
Samadhi stance. Yeah. For Ashtanga Yogi, Samadhi stance. For us, meditating on the pastimes of the Lord is also trance.
Again, one more thing, I should not be mistaken, I hope all understand me. See, again, if we learn, only for the exam's sake, even that won't be deep. You have to read everything extensively and then, you answer what comes. But normally what we do is so extensive, we just stick to the questions given to us and we just prepare for that. I think that is not very according.
Don't worry, Mataji, we won't have the chance from module 2. This one we had all requested, I think, on overall request, and Pran Chaitanya Prabhu will endorse your view. But I have actually requested for module 1. He told, don't worry, for module 2, I'll check and come back. We will still try to keep it only subject related. But what you're telling is right. But I think it was a little overwhelming for most of us. And so we had requested Prabhu to stick to it. Second canto, pakka, it's not going to happen. So don't worry. Your wish will get fulfilled.
No, not as a wish. I feel you can be perfect only by that. I feel so.
I agree with you. So we will all agree. It is our capacity now. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mahesh Prabhu.
Yes, I just want to check, I think in various parts of Bhagavatam also we see that, the focusing on different parts of the Lord, transcendental body of the Lord, I think is done differently by different devotees. So is it by the gradation of the devotees? For example, we see the Dwarka Vasis when they were seeing, I think in 1:11:26 verse, I think which we prepared for exam also, is they are focusing on Lord's chest, then the moon-like face, then the arms, and then finally they come talking about the lotus feet of the Lord. Whereas I think when we was about to study Bhagavatam, we said I think the first go gradually, from the lotus feet of the Lord, like the first canto and second canto are the lotus feet, and then gradually go to the face, which is 10th canto, right? So, but in maybe I think in different devotees examples we hear, I think they directly focus, like Adhara Madhuram directly goes to the lips of the Lord,
Exactly. I was just
by the gopis bhav maybe, but yeah, I think so. Just want to check,
very nice, Prabhu.
What is the right way? Is it maybe because we are, I think, maybe not even neophyte, maybe myself, for example, not even neophyte. So we can definitely go gradually like that. But maybe advanced devotees, who are very, very advanced, depending on their gradation, right? In the, where they are located in the steps of bhakti, right? So depending on that, they can start focusing maybe directly on mouth, directly on face, directly on, the other parts of the body. Is it like that?
Yes, Prabhu. If you see, your answer is right. So if you see, Adharam Madhuram is directly on the lip because it's Gopi. Gopi Bhav is highest, even beyond Dwarakavasi, right? So if you see gopis, since you read the chapter, you know what happens. The women of Dwaraka had some conditions, right? That is why they hugged mentally. That is from the heart they hugged. By glances they hugged. They send the children. You think gopis will have patience for all that? If Krishna was present there, they would come running and hug him. Right? They will not even bother about society because they were ahead above all that. But so they could go on the lip. Their bhava is that because they are on the Madhurya bhava, on the highest, that too, Parakiya Rasa. So that's their hit off. Dwaraka Vasis are also very high. They are all super partners of Krishna. Otherwise, nobody can marry Krishna. So very clearly, that is also very high. So they focus on wherever they want. If you take even Kunti Maharani, by virtue of her being the aunt, she doesn't tell Pada. If you see Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya Cha, Nanda Gopakumaraya, Govindaya Namo Namaha, Namaha Pankajanabhaya, Namaha Pankajamaline, Namaha Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrane. So why is she bringing it? Pankajanabhaya means she's starting from the leg because, from the stomach, from the navel. Because children, Small children, where do you normally kiss, Prabhu? On the foot we'll kiss. But also if you see, when you want to hug the child, normally we have a tendency to kiss the stomach. You've done like the 6 months child. Do you agree?
Yeah. Yes.
So Kunti Maharani, because to save the embarrassment of not starting from the leg, because she's in the role of an aunt, she starts from the stomach. So based on the devotees' views, they change. But we all are neophytes, as you rightly said. Not only you are, there's nothing called lower than neophyte, though I thought initially that. What is lower than neophyte? They said atheist. I said no. So we'll all stick to the area of devotees, either sadhana, sadhaka bhaktas. So we follow the process as it is mentioned in the sadhu and by the shastras. We will focus from the leg and go upward. Is that clear, Prabhu?
Yes,
Is that
Mataji.
clear?
Thank you. Yes,
Yes.
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Any
Hare
other
Krishna.
doubt? Otherwise, I'll stop. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patita nan pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavi jai Srila Prabhupada jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Request you all to wait for a few minutes. 2 announcements, one on video, one off video. On video announcement is Namanishta Prabhu had specifically announced this is called the Brahma Utsav, which is first year. It's a grand gala celebration starting from the 8th onwards for 10 days. So devotees are requested to come on that day. Balram Jayanti will come. We'll also have a small, it's called the Mangalore Yatra. This is a request from him. So this is the one. Second thing is, before Balaram, we have the Satakoti, I hope, which is basically floors of names of Balaram. In terms of chanting, there is a link which you need to update. Thanks. Devika Mataji has posted attendance. Rohini Mataji already posted. She's reposted. So the second thing is Satakoti. So please, these two. And over and above that, Prabhu has also requested to check if any of us can not only ask, whomever we talk, I know all of us are giving donations, but is there a way we can give like a systematic investment plan we have in mutual funds also? Like that systematically month on month, like your recurring deposit, can we pay month on month? Because these are going to be beneficial. Because this will take care of the expense of the temple and they will know, they'll be able to assess what amount comes. So it will be nice if you all can consider. Lump sum you all are doing, so I'm not going to talk about it. But if you can even consider a standard amount, irrespective of the amount.
It is called Sudama Seva.
Sudama, thank you. Yeah, it is called the Sudama Seva. So the Sudama Seva, so basically 3 things are there. One is Sudama Seva, Brahma Utsav Seva, for which we will be going. Sudama Seva and Satkoti Nama Yagna and Deviki Mataji, sorry, can you post the link of these 3 ones whenever you can?
I wanted to ask about Brahmotsava. Sure. It's been announced in Bangalore ISKCON. I was wondering, Bangalore ISKCON, I couldn't find it yesterday. 7, 8, 9, 10 we have in Bangalore.
That's a different one, different temple.
I know that.
We're talking about our temple.
I'm talking about ISKCON Mangaluru.
So I was looking out for our temple announcement.
Mataji, that's a Rutvik temple, Mataji. Better we'll not discuss about
No. I'm not discussing about that. I was wondering why we also have to announce that, because
Mataji, we've just streamlined the thing and process and things. So we had taken a bit of a time, but then I think Devika Mataji will be posting the link for not only the thing, and anyone wants to book tickets. Prabhu had requested to start booking tickets because the booking will open only now, 2 months in advance. So you can start booking tickets for your journey over there. Prasadam is free. For the ladies, even the stay, Prabhu can arrange inside the temple. So whoever wants to stay inside the temple, it will be more sharing type. So we can't demand for a thing. But if you want to have your own private accommodation outside, we can even share the hotels where you can book. So request is, it will be a nice satsang. It's our DT. It's a seva we are doing. So we can all meet face to face. So we would request all of you all to come. Right? So
Shatakoti is something, Nama. What is it?
Shatakoti is a link where you will do rounds, no Mataji. You're doing chanting 16 rounds now. Any number of rounds you do, whether you do 16 rounds, 20 rounds, 25 rounds, you will be updating everything, total number of rounds per day in the link. And so we want to take a count. We want to reach that number for
Mataji, can I add it to that? Shatakoti.
Please add, Mataji. It will be great help. Come.
Actually, Prabhu is thinking that by the time the Brahmotsava, this one ceremony starts, you want to complete Shatakoti in Nama. So devotees who want to participate in that, they can register, and every day when we chant, that we can update there. And by the time the Brahmotsava start, we supposed to finish that Shatakoti.
And the request is all of you register. There is nothing here. It is just your regular rounds which all of us are doing. All of us will be doing 16 rounds if we are in Bakthi Vaibhav. You only have to upload that number. That's it. It's not that you need to do extra. Whatever you're doing, please upload so that collectively we
Also, they can do extra, Mataji.
Yeah, you can. But if the moment I tell extra, I don't want anyone to step back. All of us 26 will be registering. How many ever you want to do extra, please go ahead. But the total number of rounds for the day is what you'll update. This is what I want to do. So if we are done with the announcement, I'm going to stop live. And thank you so much, Devika Mataji. Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna, and please stay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please stay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay.